What's going on, Spirit family? How are you all doing, everybody watching? I am going to do a video today about forgiveness. And the thing about that is that forgiveness is something that I'm working on right now also. I'm still learning how to forgive appropriately as a person. Not hold grudges and, you know, feel the negative emotions associated with whatever it is I'm trying to forgive. But I'm trying. I'm growing. I'm learning. It's not easy. I'm sitting on the floor, rolling me up, smokety smokes. I'm really trying to figure out, you know, how to do this video about forgiveness whenever I'm struggling with forgiveness myself. So, this could be a tough video. We'll see. Uh, Spirit Team guide me through like I normally do. They'll lead me to whatever it is I need to say and message that needs to be conveyed so that I can express myself appropriately. Woo. Well, first and foremost, Spirit Team, please fill this area with white and gold light. Please disconnect any negative attachments, any disruptions, disrupts, disrupts, rup, disruptions. Say it again. And distortions. Thank you. Please guide me and allow me to deliver whatever message it is that I need to deliver today the way that it needs to be expressed so that the people will be able to get from it what they need. Thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo. You know, I want to make like them surreal videos, so to speak, where you're talking to somebody and it feels like you're there with them. I want my videos to have that type of experience. Maybe I'll get there one day. Maybe. I could already be there. I don't know. But I feel like I'm at home. I guess you all could too, under the right circumstances. Making a whole lot of noises, I know. but you all can still hear me. I guess I can ask for you all's forgiveness in the matter because I'm being so loud. So, what is forgiveness? How do you forgive? Why is it necessary? What's the point? Forgiveness. Excuse me, yawning. Well, forgiveness is whenever you accept what's wrong that was done to you in some way, shape, or fashion, and you don't hold it against anybody after it's all said and done. So you accept it and you don't hold it against anybody. Forgiveness. In forgiving, you also have to let go of things, whether it be emotions, situations, circumstances, or items, people. But a lot of times, whenever you're asking for forgiveness, you don't have to give up so many things or anybody, because during that process of forgiveness, a lot of the time, if you're the one being forgiven, the person that's forgiving you will give you the grace of not having to start all the way over and in the situation that you're in, if that's applicable and acceptable. If not, if you got to start over, you got to start over, and but you still have the opportunity to try again where you messed up before without it being counted against you. Forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't hold grudges. Forgiveness is kind and gentle. Forgiveness is patient and understanding. To forgive, you might need to understand the situation better, or the other person better, or even yourself better. To understand gives you the power to control how you react about the situation. Forgiveness is something that most all people need because none of us are perfect. What does it mean to be perfect? To be perfect, that means that everything about you is exactly proficient in all the ways possible, if that makes sense. Like, you can get perfect scores on things, you can do something perfectly without wasting or spilling or breaking or whatever the case may be. You can sing something perfectly. You can be something that is considered perfect because you could be the perfect fit for the situation. Perfect exists, but only in the lines of balance and equality. Without balance, perfect does not exist and cannot exist and will not exist. So, there's that. So, in forgiveness, it doesn't have to be perfect. In most situations, nothing has to be perfect. But whenever you're working on forgiveness, you have to go inside yourself and think to yourself, how am I going to let this affect me? How do I want this to affect me in the future? How do I want to feel about this? How do I feel about this? And if you're hurt in some way, shape, or fashion, or offended in some way, shape, or fashion, you might feel like you need forgiveness. But if you're not, and you're the one giving forgiveness, then you go and think about what it is that you feel about the situation or the results of the situation. You can decide if you can be happy about it or if you can't be happy about it. If you can get over it or if you can't get over it. If you can accept it or if you can't accept it. That's going to determine whether or not you actually forgive somebody or not. Because you can say that you forgive somebody, but not actually forgive them. Saying it is just words. We can say anything, but we can't do anything. And by anything, I mean everything. There are some things that are not possible for us to do. But I can tell you, forgiveness is definitely in the scope of things that we can do. By forgiving, we find it inside ourselves not to allow something to harm us or affect us in a way that's going to negatively impact us. Sheesh. Just lost my train of thought there for a second. It's 5:16. Getting late. But that's okay. 5:16, 15:05 on the recorder. I'm doing well. When I was growing up, I was taught to forgive and not to forget. Actually, I was taught to forgive and forget. But I grew up and learned and was taught again to forgive and not forget. Forgive them for what they do, but not forget what they did and what happened. That doesn't mean hold it over anybody's head or bring it up all the time whenever you see the person or anything like that. That just means you forgive them wholly and let it go. And when you let something go, it's like you're going outside and burying it and laying it to rest. Letting something go. The act of letting something go. I'm not telling you to go outside and bury something. No, I'm telling you emotionally, mentally, you're letting go of a subject, situation, whatever. You're detaching from it and you're allowing it to die out and be at rest. So you're not going to keep going back to disturb it and revisit it and bring it back up and stew it and make it live again, make it seem like it's active and going. But I grew up learning to forgive and forget. Forgive them for what they did and forget about it. Go on about your business because it's not that important anyways. And if it is that important, then I'll know and I can do something about it. Or what if it's important and it keeps happening? Well, if it's important and it keeps happening, then don't forgive them for it. Not until it's over. I mean, you can, but are you going to have to find it in yourself to forgive them again? Or are you just going to be content with the first time you forgave them and let that carry over through the rest of them? Forgiving somebody for something they did and then they go and do it again to you over and over again. It's really hard to do. It's almost as if the person that's doing the thing doesn't care about how it's actually affecting the person that's not doing it. And in situations like that, that's when you got to protect yourself. Forgive, but don't forget. You forgive them for being the way that they were and doing what they did or whatever the case may be, but you're not going to forget it. And you're going to keep that fresh as long as they're still behaving that way. The moment they let it die will be the moment that you can let it die. Can let. You have the choice to let things go and let them die whenever you are forgiving somebody, which would allow you to be less stressed and allow them to have some type of freedom because you forgave them for something. Woo. I got somebody that I'm working on forgiving. I got some buddies that I'm working on forgiving. One more recently. And it's like, okay, I see you doing the same things and telling me certain things, but what you're telling me and what you're doing do not match up. What you're telling me It's one thing, and then what you're doing is showing me that what you're telling me is not the same as what you're trying to express to me physically. In which that hurts, especially after talking about it and whatnot. But it's not me, it's not mine. The only thing I can do is accept it and go on about my business. And by accepting, I can allow myself not to be stressed out and burdened by whatever it is that's been going on. But I can't completely get rid of it and let it die because the situation's not over yet. So, forgiving, definitely forgiving. Forgetting is not an option because it's not done yet. But, yeah, showing you care via forgiveness is a very big deal and can be a very big deal. You can change people's worlds and lives by forgiving them for things. So, how do you forgive somebody? Why do we forgive people? You forgive people by thinking that, hey, whatever you did, you know, it hurt me, but I'm not going to let that rule me. So I forgive you for what you done. Just don't let it happen again. Or I'm not going to accept that anymore after that, or try not to do that no more. Or if it's in a person's control, let them know. You didn't like it. Try not to let it happen again. Or if it is, make sure you're not around. Or not to you. If it's not in their control, hey, stuff happens. Sorry it happened to you. We'll do a better job of preventing it in the future so that it don't happen again. That is, if you want it to stop happening and that person wants it to change. You can forgive them, but is it going to change anything? Forgiveness doesn't always change things. Forgiveness is just a tool to get stress off of you and another person or situation so that there's no guilt and hard feelings behind it. Forgiveness is for yourself so that you aren't killing yourself worrying and thinking about things that you've done or did not do that were great or were not great. Forgiveness is for you. You got to forgive yourself for doing things that you did not agree with or would not have normally done or anything like that. You got to forgive yourself. That is something that you have to do as a person. If you can forgive you yourself, then you can forgive anybody else. But more importantly, if you can forgive you and yourself, then you can be happy and free from whatever is holding you back in life and burdening you and keeping you down, making you feel like you're not who you should be or what you want to be or how you want to be. If you can forgive yourself and accept whatever it is that's going on for what it is, then you'll be able to start to be happy. Because after you forgive yourself, you talk to yourself, to, hey, self, I'm sorry for putting us through this, doing this, not doing this, whatever. However, whatever is going on that happened, apologize to yourself. You got to apologize to yourself. Make it real, make it loving, because yourself appreciates it. And then move on. If you can want to change it, try to implement things that can change it. If you don't, if it's not something that's changeable, then move on, let it go. But you have the choice, have the power to apologize to yourself and free yourself from burdens and past mistakes or past incidents and whatever, future stuff and present stuff also. You have the power. So exercise that. You just gotta think through the situation and then go do your thing. I'm working on my apologizing. It's a really tough situation for me. I imagine it might be for anybody, but I'm working on it. I'll get there, just like everybody else will get there. Um, just because you forgive somebody doesn't mean you got to stay around them or stay around it, whatever the case may be. You don't have to be friends with them or nothing like that. Forgiving them is just getting rid of the hostility. That's really all it is. So try bringing yourself some peace or somebody else some peace by offering forgiveness. I hope this video was helpful. I'm zombie. I'm a zombie. 5:21 right now on the clock. 5:21. 26:28 on the timer. I'm about to get out of here, y'all. I'm gonna upload this video. Ooh, y'all can watch it whenever you get a chance. Spirit family, spirit team. Thank you, spirit family, for joining and watching. And comment, like, share, subscribe. Tap your notification button so you can know whenever I upload stuff or send messages, whatever the case may be. And thank you very much, Spirit Team, for guiding me and helping me and protecting me and allowing me to get through this message appropriately. Allow this message to find whoever it needs to find and bring whatever type of changes that they need and clear any confusion that could possibly be there. Shalom, people. Enjoy. Shalom.